Good? Excellent. Hi everybody. Welcome into another episode of Cooking in My Classroom. One day I'll think of a name for it. Today we're going to be doing the old school American favorites, grilled cheese sandwiches. So there are very many different ways to make a grilled cheese sandwich. I know cameras are on me, but for several people in my class, have you guys ever made a grilled cheese sandwich before? Few of them? Few of them. Okay, so there's kind of two different methods that we think about when making a grilled cheese sandwich. There's a smear the butter on the bread and then fry it, or melt the butter and then dunk it and fry it in there. What do you do? Jaden, you're shaking your head. What do you do?
On the bread.
You smear it on the bread? Does anyone not smear it on the bread?
I've never made it.
Talking about
Grilled cheese sandwiches.
No, I'm talking about like, what are you talking about?
You know when you make a grilled cheese sandwich, so it's butter, bread, cheese, grilled up. Do you smear the bread on the, you smear the bread on the butter. Do you smear the butter on the bread beforehand and then fry it?
I put the butter in the pan.
Yeah, I put the butter in the pan.
All right, so we're a little divided. Like I said, it's very divisive. Some people, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but some people will put mayonnaise on the bread and fry it up like that. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. I don't know. I'm just an old school butter guy. So what we're going to do is review the technique that some of you guys use, which is doing the butter in the pan and then putting it in there and frying it. So I'm going to get my burner on,
You're next.
and I hope everyone's okay with good old American cheese. Yes, sir.
Why you got oil?
What do I got? What?
Why you got some oil?
That's a great question, Jaquan. So why do I have oil? So this is a stainless steel pan. Not hot yet. A little bit hot. So a stainless steel pan, of course, we have stainless steel, we have non-stick. So you can make a stainless steel pan non-stick by just doing a little bit of oil and heating it for a second. So I'm just gonna do the slightest bit of oil down there, get it hot, then I'll add my butter, they'll kind of melt together, and then it'll move. So I got just a light olive oil, because your extra virgin olive oil is gonna burn very quickly. So we are going to wait till that heats up. I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil to my pan and wait for that to get going. On again, these weird little burners. And I've made me some real nice and fancy grilled cheeses before throughout my time being a chef, like brie and bacon, pear, fresh bread or whatever. But man, white bread American cheese, there's something classic about it. I love it. So I'm gonna go for just a little under a tablespoon of butter in my pan. And that looks like it is doing things. Things are happening.
Let me get it closer.
Get a close up of that butter, sir. Look at that. I like to think of it as a little ice skater floating around on the rink. Slowly spinning around. It's also kind of hard because I have a gas range in my apartment. So since it has a grate on top of it, you kind of bang your pots and pans around. But with these, I have to be very careful, very delicate.
Right there too.
So I'm actually going to turn my heat down a little bit because that's actually looking pretty good. So I got my 2 slices on the Wonder Bread. I have my butter melted in the pan. So here is where I go. Here's what I do. I take my sandwich, my beautiful, delicious, awful-for-you sandwich. I throw it on in there. I move it around, and then I flip it over, saturate the other end. So now both ends are saturated in butter. We're good to go. And then cover it. So that way what's happening there is that as the heat is rising from the bottom, it's essentially kind of steaming the sandwich. So while it's being seared on the bottom, the steam and the atmosphere in there is helping to melt the cheese. So that way you end up with a nice toasty sandwich and melted cheese, and not a burnt sandwich and melted cheese, or a golden sandwich with the cheese not melted. Naturally, being American cheese, it melts pretty easily anyway. But anytime you're doing, let's say an aged cheddar, something that's a little harder to melt, this is a great way to do it. You'll see this a lot in certain diners when they have their flat top griddle. They're doing burgers. They'll throw the cheese on there and they'll usually cover it with something, throw a little water in there to kind of steam it as it's going. So with this, shouldn't have that nice little brown with a good old melty cheese interior. And the only challenges you're gonna have, Donalvon, when you get up here to make a grilled cheese sandwich is
You're
not having a spatula, which I forgot. So I'm just gonna flip it in the pan, old school style.
Use the knife.
Huh?
Use the knife.
shut the fuck
I
up.
don't wanna scrape it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Exactly, bro. Get the mom for real.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways I can do it, and we could get you set you up with something, Donalvon. But I'm just gonna flip it. I think it actually might have been stuck to the pan.
I'm telling you.
I didn't let the oil get hot enough before I melted the butter in there.
See? A fork, bro. You said a knife and shit.
Hey, that's a fucking knife.
I messed up.
But it's a
Plastic
It's
knife.
plastic though.
Okay.
You know, we're living, we're learning. We'll cut this part out.
Yeah.
No one ever has to know. That's the magic of film editing. Look at that beautiful cheese sandwich. Delicious. Look at that beautiful flip that totally happened the first time I did it. Very good. What an amazing chef I am. People pay money to do this.
I don't want to go.
Let's see, are you gonna do it? Can I flip it? Whee! Lots of fun. Lots of fun bouncing a sandwich around. All right, so now it's done. Look at this beautiful sandwich. Look as it's burning my fingers. Very hot. I would do a cheese pull, but I'm gonna let it cool down because my fingers hurt. So, to review, again, all opportunities are good. Spreading the butter on the bread is fine. Doing it is fine. I personally, again, like kind of saturating both sides with the melted butter in the pan. Feel like it goes a little faster. Helps it kind of make a nice, more even coating on the sandwich. All right, so I'm gonna cut this and do a cheese pull. Chris, I think I'm ready. And then Donalvon, I'm gonna let you do yours. This probably isn't gonna pull at all. Nope,
Damn.
nothing. But there's a little sandwich, and one would like it. Totally up to you. We're gonna make plenty more throughout the class.
I'll take you.
Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Working that camera is tough work.
Nah, yeah, give me the head.
Sandwich. So, just in case anything bad happens.
I use it. I want to use it.
No, we're not going to use it.
I know, but in case I'll use it. I always be doing this.
I've always wanted to use a fire extinguisher, but I never have.
I used one before. It's at an apartment complex.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it fun?
Is it fun? Do you have a nice time?
I had a real good time.
So, fire extinguishers, fire safety. Does anyone remember the acronym for fire extinguishers?
I don't pay attention.
Come on, buddy. It's PASS. P-A-S-S. So our fire extinguisher, we have this little pin right here. P is for you're gonna pull the pin, pop that sucker out. Gonna take this little nozzle. A is for aim. You're gonna aim it at the base of the fire. Because aiming it at the very top is not really gonna do anything. If you get it to the very bottom, that's gonna extinguish any sort of oxygen coming into the fire, so you'll be good to go. So we're gonna pull the pin, we're gonna aim it at the base of the fire, we're gonna squeeze the trigger, and then we're gonna sweep our extinguisher from side to side. Yes, sir. Yes. So P, A, S, S. Pass. Now you know. What you looking for, sir? What happened? these are all. No, here's one.